Thank you, everyone, and welcome to my session, The Importance of User Experience Research in Creating Effective AI Products. I am Ivonne Carrillo Dominguez, and I am Principal Data Engineer at Pixel. If you haven't, please visit us in the sponsors booth. We have a table there. We have Roberto keys and very nice notebooks, so please go there and ask for one. And so a little bit about me. Throughout my career, I have the opportunity to work with and evaluate different cutting-edge technologies, different tools and frameworks, whether implementing them for putting them in production or for strategic investment decisions. And generative AI, or Gen AI, is one of them. And in this session, we'll discuss specifically Gen AI-powered chatbots. We've been hearing about Gen AI, or large language models, for a while now. And I'm sure everyone here is familiar with the promise of faster tools, faster services, to make us, well, faster. But what if I told you that we got it all wrong? Let's reflect on this thought. Let's imagine a teenager that's applying for their driver's license for the first time. Of course, they want to get in and out as fast as possible. But what if they need help filling out the forms, if they don't have someone to help them? What if they need accommodations for the written test? Now, think on a Medicaid beneficiary looking for the plans that best fit their needs. If you know someone in this situation, you know what I'm talking about. The enrollment requirements can be confusing. It's an important decision, and they don't want to make mistakes. Or picture a researcher who's looking for government data sets to complete their data analysis. In all these three cases, AI can be helpful, but a chatbot assistant doesn't always need to speed up their processes. What these people need is guidance through their process, through their journey. They want to feel comfortable asking questions. They need reassurance that they are taking the right steps and that they are heading to the right path. What they truly need is an effective AI chatbot. So what makes a chatbot truly effective? Well, that really depends on the service and on the people it's serving. The secret to effective chatbots isn't more algorithms. It's actually listening to human first. And this is the premise of my session. This is the key takeaway. I am opening with this, and I will end with this. So that's what I really want to talk about, the how and the why. And I'm going to tell you a story of our own journey at Pixel. How we embarked in this race of Gen AI where everyone wanted to jump in as fast as possible. So it's a story with errors, with a lot of learning, and some successes too, when we are implementing AI. So what makes this story different from other projects that needed user experience research? I think that's part of it, that we wanted to be fast just as anyone else, because every month we were hearing something new about AI. Everyone wanted to have their next new thing first, and we knew the risk, and we just get it. What we did is to skip user experience, but as you might be imagining, we shouldn't have done that. So, sorry, I didn't explain this part. So I want to walk you through how we started, the first results that we had, then when we integrated our user experience research, our next iterations, and the final results. And now I already showed you this, and it was a spoiler alert, and the right side. But yeah, we should have integrated user experience research from the start. And it's not like we need to wait until the research is done. You can do it in tandem with the development. And especially when you are exploring new technologies, it's very useful to have this ongoing user feedback loop, because you are developing and you are hearing how people are reacting to that. But I will go into that a little bit further in the story. First, what we did first, our initial approach. So we knew what LLM was, we knew how to train models, we knew how to augment it, but we needed to know now what to do with that knowledge. And we started by choosing the right problem for an AI prototype. So at the very least, we knew we needed a problem, right? So we needed to solve something that was real. So we were thinking, well, we have a content library where we have information about our projects, about our policies, about technology in general, and people are struggling to find information. As you know, whenever you have a content repository, it can get hard to find information. So yeah, an AI chatbot can help with that. And while we are on that, what about finding past performance information? And since we are in business development field, what about helping the development team to write proposals with the same language? AI can help with that. And what if, instead of that, we help our peers with admin tasks like emails, documentations, reports, tasks that are repetitive, so we can automate those. Or what about our technology team? We can help our developers to learn new programming skills. So we had a lot of ideas of problems that we could solve, and we tackled everything and more. And you know what? The results were actually positive. So that was very confusing. So whenever we were demoing our prototypes, people were happy with that. There were a lot of excitement and positive feedback, but no one was using those. So that was very, I will say, just confusing, right? And the reason is that people had different perspectives and different expectations on how to use AI or what AI could do with, for them, or opinions on AI, why they want it or why they didn't want it. So there were low engagement, and this engagement it's like a two-way street. So people weren't really engaging with the tool, but we, the development team, we were following up. So it's from both sides. And we were measuring one of our tools that we called Pixel AI. So Pixel AI is an internal AI agent, chat agent that we have with our own LLM. So that's where we were seeing that we weren't really hitting a lot of active users. And a little bit about the different perspectives. There's nothing wrong with that as long as you are aware. And just to give you a sneak peek of the research discoveries that we have, of what people were expecting. So we have teams that they were like, okay, yeah, we could use Gen AI for content creation or for planning. And other people were like, what about organization? And other people, well, for timekeeping. So if you are a government contractor, you know what this is. We also have the research team. They were using AI for very different ways, like statistical models, predictive models. So they have another idea of what AI could do for them. And also a few users were talking about locating information. So it was all over the place. And even in one team with one specific need, every role will have different needs as well. And they will use technology in different ways. So that moment was when we realized that we needed help. So that's when our product manager and a dedicated UX research team joined our team, and they show us how to integrate UX research in our product development process. So this is about, so these are like the 4 stages. So the 3 first is like a loop or feedback that we have. So discovery, we learn about our users. Define, when you prioritize what to do next. The development, how users are feeling with the new adjustments. And at the very end, when you are ready to launch, you reflect on what you learned. So specifically for this tool that I told you, the Pixel AI, what that means for us. So I'm using the same image of the look that we have here. So for discovery, we wanted to know what is the current state of AI use at Pixel in general. Where can AI provide the most value? So we wanted to see how people were using AI in general, their behaviors, their opinions, their reactions, and all this is from the user's perspective. So in this point, we are just listening and observing the users. Then we define what we are going to do next. How to maximize Pixel AI impact. Which use cases align with Pixel strategic goals? Because one thing is what the user wants, what we can do, but also we need to align with the company goals. And then we go in the development phase. And we are making adjustments as we are hearing feedback, and we are assessing how well Pixel AI meets user needs, and also keeping an eye on potential training and education needs. Remember, this is a new tool, new technology, so we will have to do some training as well. And not making assumptions that users will only know how to use it. And at the very end, it's not that we just launch the product and move on to the next thing. As much as we will want to do that, we need to keep analyzing and measuring the solution. So we keep metrics there to keep an eye on that, on how users are reacting or maybe repurposing this tool. And with that, we can learn what could be improved for the next time, for the next product. So let's talk a little bit about the research methods. So this is in the discovery part, where we want to understand the users. So first, there's some desk research. So here at Pixel, we started looking about our own website analytics, help desk tickets, just to know what people were asking or requesting, what they need, as well as previous research on other tools that we manage. So this is data that we already have that we could incorporate and learn from. We sent a couple of surveys, multiple choice and open-ended questions, just to balance out the ease of the analysis and also an opportunity to hear other kind of questions. From here, we went to user interviews. This is only to ask them about what they think about AI, what kind of AI tools they are using, what are the problems that they have, and how they see AI helping them. And other kind of questions like, what are the tasks that are more time consuming for you? So not necessarily just AI, just learning about their workflows. And then since we have this AI chatbot already there, we were doing some usability testing, and this was very useful because this is where we were making the adjustments and just seeing how they were reacting to that. So some of the research findings that we have, this is like more in general, the current AI tools, they were employees that were already using our Pixel AI and other general purpose chatbots, specialized AI tools. So this is, some of them were Gen AI, some of them not, but for UX, for content, depending on the area of the person that we were interviewing. And also AI features in software they were already using. And this is not just Gen AI. As I mentioned, we had researchers in Pixel that they were, since they are doing analysis, they needed these predictive models, statistical models, so more traditional machine learning as well. And so we had a range of employees there. Some of them were very familiar and some of them weren't. Common task, making sense of large data sets, summarizing information. This was very important and very common. Content generation support, idea generation, and getting started. So that's something that we saw a lot of people were using these Gen AI tools just to get a start and then they could continue. So in summary, we saw a lot of optimism about AI potential and some concerns as well. So the opportunities that we saw was automating routine tasks and improving efficiency, data analysis, content support, and also enhancing strategic thinking, which was interesting to find out. Some challenges, though, concerns over data accuracy. So they knew that if we don't have our data in a mature level, then the tool wasn't going to be helpful at all. And over-reliance on AI automation, technical limitations, and integration difficulties. So this last one is about how to integrate these new tools into the daily workflows. Because, yeah, we want to have disruptive tools, but we don't want to disrupt our workflows. Yeah. Some standout observations that we have, and this was something that surprised the development team. We were all in a heads down in our development, thinking AI, everybody knows what we know. That wasn't the case. Not all team members had experience with tools like ChatGPT. So this is a research that happened a year ago. And so it was already there, but not all people wanted to use it. So when we were using usability testing on Pixel AI, we made the big assumption that everyone knew that. So we were asking that, okay, ask a question, write a prompt, choose another model. They were like, I don't know where that is. And we were like, well, we were using like the same interface, but they hadn't seen it before. So some advanced features were confusing, and effective prompts was a challenge. So we knew that writing prompts is not the most straightforward thing, but it was more challenging than we assumed. There were concerns regarding privacy. So this is in public or external tools. So we know, and a lot of people voiced that they were like, well, I cannot use it for my work because I do client work or personal data or data that I don't want to share. And that meant that there was some excitement about enhancing privacy and security measures since we were offering an internal tool. So that was time to translate insights into features and processes. We knew we needed to address data quality concerns to build trust. This is an important point. And focus AI development on areas with the highest impact. And that's where we started our version 2. Well, it says version 2, but it was a lot of iterations there. Excuse me. So some of the things that we did implementation of guardrails. So this was in the interface, some warnings there, explaining what is sensitive data was not, but also in the chatbot itself. So if we were sending a personal name or first name, it was removing all sensitive information there. Transparency on data usage and responsible AI practices. So we were informing more of what we were doing. For instance, we do not train our LLM model based on inputs of our users. We just store the chats so they can use them, they can remove them, we will never know. Remove data that was producing inaccurate answers. So we had some data or some files where we have like different versions, for example, and we were feeding the LLM or augmenting our model with all this content, and then the chatbot was creating answers based on data that was outdated. So that wasn't good, that doesn't help with building trust, so we needed to remove some of that data. And alignment with the standards and protocols. So we have now a Pixel AI policy, and we are aligning all of our AI tools with that, and we are communicating those as well. And that also meant to do a modernization journey. So what that is, so we have these initiatives, facilitating training sessions, AI data and community practice, a responsible AI committee. So these 3 initiatives are in charge of creating resources and communicating those to the rest of the big sellers. So we are aware of all the policies on how to use all these tools. The outcomes of that is we increase technical proficiency and also identification of practical applications. This is for personal use, so people are more aware of what they can do, but also on our client work. And well, on our Pixel AI, that's where the research was. This research that I'm sharing is based on this Pixel AI chatbot. I'm going to share with you some of those final results. But this is an ongoing journey. So this was some learning with this tool, but we have made other tools as well. So we saw a growth of more than 4 times in unique active users. So this was from Q3 to Q4. And so the blue line, well, it looks like green here, it's just new users. So we have a lot of adoption and engagement remained. But it was very interesting. I was like, what happened there? So I did a zoom in, and I think it's good just to have it in mind. So we have a peak of new users. So this is people that are logging in for the first time into the tool. On September 30th, there was a community practice announcement where we were announcing that we were going to talk about these new features. And people knew that we were doing all these user experience research, that we were sending surveys and all this, so they were interested, and they went and they logged in to see them for themselves. And on October 4th, this was the actual community practice session, and we saw another peak. So peaks on user adoption is when communication is effective, not when we were making the release notes. So when we were announcing these sessions, it was in a more friendlier way. And well, yeah, as I mentioned, everything that we learned during this experience continues to inform how we develop AI products. And the journey is ongoing and is shaped on real user interactions, feedback, and engagement efforts. So that was the point of this session, just to explain how it changes when you really hear your users. And it's not only for the actual model and the answers, but also the interface needs to be targeted to your audience. And just a final thought, when you design AI around real people, not just code, you get government services that feel like having a helpful friend instead of a bureaucratic robot, which is nice. Thank you so much, you've been a really nice audience. And now I will, but before I open the floor for questions and answers, I have this QR code. If you can scan it and give us feedback, this helps us a lot to improve our sessions. Thank you so much. Anyone have a question or a comment or something similar that has happened to you? Yeah?
What role did AI play in doing the research and building things and all that, as opposed to, say, designing the chatbot? What role did AI play, or the chatbot play, in helping you to do this?
Yeah, so I will repeat the question just for the recording. Is what's the role of AI on helping us to do this research? Is that correct? So we're using some AI-driven products for our UX research. We don't only rely on that, but yeah, definitely it helps to do transcripts of the videos. It helps us to do some initial analysis on those interviews, but there were always someone there doing the actual analysis, because it happens a lot when it is a new thing. The LLM model is trained on data that happened in the past, not a new thing. So it can be unpredictable. And even if it has some, this is a very specific tool with very specific people, so things can be different. So we cannot rely only on AI, but we did use it. Sure.
Yeah, thanks for the presentation. Have you seen other improvements aside from the adoption of the AI tool amongst the staff? For example, you had a number of help tickets created as a metric, maybe speed of finding content in the repository or other applications. So have you seen improvements in those metrics as well, or is it too early
Right.
to tell?
Okay, so the question is if we have seen improvements thanks to AI usage on our company. So I don't think we have those metrics right now. I can talk for my team or myself. I don't think it's speeding up us much. So we produce code, but definitely it has improved the quality of the code. It has improved also our pull requests. So the information that we have there is, I think, it's easier to go into a pull request and review it because we have like a chatbot that it is telling us what it happened there. So we have the documentation that the developer write, and then an AI help there, and it's very useful just to understand what happened in that change. So that has been helpful, and yeah, I guess it has increased the quality, but we don't necessarily have the metrics to prove that. Not right now. Yeah. And more questions?
So this is an iterative process. Will there be a version 3 coming? Like, you know,
Oh, we are like in version 20 now.
or whatever the
Yeah,
version next, like the
Yeah.
next iteration.
definitely. Right now we're focusing in other tools as well, like more, because this Pixel AI is for general purpose, so it's for all employees, but we are focusing on helping out the project managers and also the business development team. So those are more specific tools. We have also made Gen AI tools for the researchers. That was for USAID. It wasn't a chatbot, but it was an LLM. We were training, we were automating those with RAG and helping them with their research. So definitely everything that we are learning, we are applying with the next thing. And for instance, for that, the tool that we did for the researchers, we did for 2 projects. And we knew we needed to know exactly what they do with the information, like manually, so we could replicate that. And there was a lot of testing back and forth until we actually get it right. So that's just an example of how we use like this learning with other things. All right. Well, thank you so much. If you have any other question, I put some cards in the chairs. You can take it. You can shoot me a message, and I'll make sure to answer all the questions. But yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.